I'm going to talk to you today about Google's findings in food choices. So all of us here are the change makers, right? We're all invested in impacting, disrupting, changing, turning upside down the food space. So what does Google, a tech company, have to do in the food space? Well, Google Food is an internally branded organization where we provide all of the meals for those who work at Google around the world. We try to be intentional and thoughtful about the products that we buy, how we make them, how we serve them, how we present them, and even the environments that we serve them in is really important. So Google Food is in 55 countries. That's all the offices that Google is in. And we serve over 100,000 meals a day in 200 cafes or restaurants. We have about 900 micro kitchens. Those are our kind of coffee snack break areas. And we don't do this alone. We work with over 43 catering partners, like Restaurant Associates here on the East Coast, Bon Appetit on the West. We also get the privilege to work with a number of commercial partners and academic partners trying to innovate in the space. And we provide meals for a really highly educated workforce. They're highly educated and highly engaged in food and the food program. Now we know that food, right, has this huge power to impact our well-being. And our well-being is being the best you, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. And so we have a responsibility to offer nutritious, delicious, and responsibly sourced food to help enable our users to make the best choices. But how do you do that? How do you enable someone to make a better choice? How do you change their behavior, especially if they already know? So is it about education or information? I would argue no. I think for me, I know that I'm supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day, and I've read the science, and I've read all those articles, a gajillion articles about hydration for my skin and my well-being, but do I? No, not really. So at the moment of choice, how can we impact that decision? And because we're Google, we have a bigger aspiration, not just focused on our internal users, but to inspire the world, to use food choices and food experiences to develop more sustainable lifestyles and communities. And how do we transfer that? How do we transfer what we know, what is transferable to the broader world? So we partnered with Yale School of Management. They are so smart and earnest and organized, like everything I am not, but I had the privilege to be able to work with them. It was a lot of fun, and we wanted to understand how, at the moment of choice, how we can impact decisions through research in behavioral science. What is behavioral science? Just like what it sounds like. It's the study of behavior or psychology through observation. So thinking about the impact you can have on someone at that decision-making process, how can we use the same science that retailers use to get you to make that impulse buy? So behavioral science research has shown that human beings are hardwired to make impulsive choices. We have limited willpower. We act without thinking sometimes, and so you just think of for me, I stand in the grocery store line, right? And I'm waiting, I'm buying my stuff. I grab like 3 packages of that yummy stuff. I eat it all the way home, all 3 packages, because I have no willpower and I am a mindless eater. And I'm not thinking, I only live for today, and I'm not thinking about that painful dentist visit I'm going to have in a couple months. So how can we then, through marketing, and use behavioral sciences to nudge people towards more desirable behaviors? So even though as human beings we're irrational and odd, we are predictable. And that's where behavioral sciences can nudge us towards more desirable behaviors. We can make the best choice the easiest choice. So with these earnest Yale MBA candidates and PhDs, we embarked on 3 field studies. And the first one, so they're asking pretty simple questions that theoretically, I think we all know the answer. But to date, there hadn't been any data-based evidence. So here we go collecting the data, because that's also what we do at Google. Don't take that the wrong way. Okay? This is just food. So will signage, at the moment of choice, will it affect your decision? Will you eat more beets if you see a sign about beets? And the answer is yes. Yes, and you know what's kind of cool too is that the sign wasn't saying eat beets because they're good for you. The sign was just colorful and sexy and had a fun fact about beets. Did you know that the biggest beet was grown by a Dutchman, and it was 156 pounds? Fascinating. Our second project was about proximity. So if the snacks are closer, will you eat more? Every day I go to a meeting and I pass by a micro kitchen, and before we kind of turn things around, in the morning I would skip by, right? In the afternoon I would just stroll by, and at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, because I have no willpower, I would just, And so I already knew the answer to this, but we did the study, and as people are waiting for coffee, and if there are snacks nearby, you will take and eat and consume more snacks. If they're farther away, just that little barrier stops you. And guys, you got it even worse, for once. Third, portion control, or really about serving size versus portion size. And, basically, if you self-serve, you overserve. And especially with those high-caloric, popular items, nuts or candy, even though you know what the serving size is, you'll eat more. So we found in our environment, if we use snack packs or pre-portioned, in our cafes, we're doing more, instead of the buffet lines, trying to offer a curated portion control plate, which is a full meal, and it works. So if you want to read more about it or learn more, the nitty-gritty from the PhDs and those MBA candidates, there's some published writings on it. You can check that out. So what did we do at Google with this great information? This is the cool part, I think. Hydration. So we all know we should drink more water. So let's make drinking water easier. Way we can do that, I think you saw some pictures there. And at lunch today, you had spa waters, those big vessels with the lemon water and the other waters. So in all of our cafes and all of our micro kitchens, we have spa waters with fruit and vegetables and herbs right there. First thing you see when you go in. We put water pitchers on the table. We make water bottles available. That's another option too. Smallwares, we try to make sure that we have the right size plate for the right dish. Portion guidance, I talked a little about that. And product placement. So remember when I was walking by the the micro kitchen, well, we've put all those candies in opaque jars. So now I don't see them. I know they're there, but I can't see them. And that has a huge effect on me. And so those are in opaque jars, and they're kind of down in the corner. All of the more healthful items, fresh fruit, so on, are right there when I walk in. And signage, I talked about signage, and station layout. These are in our cafes. So to make it easier for our users to make that salad choice, the salads are right there, big, beautiful, fresh, as soon as you walk into a cafe. You know, we have proteins and other things available, of course, and the indulgences, our desserts, are tucked off into the corner, so you have to make sure that you go over there. It's kind of cool. So I love this stuff, and I think it's really cool, and I'm really happy that I got to come here and talk to you all about food choices. And for me, my behavior changed with these nudges. And my friends, their behavior also shifted, and it started a conversation. And all of us here can have a huge impact when we leave, and the food choices that we make can inspire other individuals, our families, our communities. We can inspire the world, I believe, to use our food choices for more sustainable communities. Thanks for listening.